Hello, everybody. Welcome to Life in New York City and Japan. I'm Manami.
I'm Andrew.
So today's episode is about learning language in a foreign country outside school. I personally learned English a lot through conversation with my friends. So I try to hang out with my friends as often as possible and go get some drink and through those activities. How did you learn Japanese in Japan, Andrew?
So I wandered around a lot when I was in Japan. One cool story is one day I was walking around Kawadamachi, which is like downtown Kyoto, and I went to a cafe. I think it was part of like an independent hotel or something. And I sat down and I was reading my Japanese book, and I kept on noticing there was this person there that like, they kept on looking in my direction. I'm like, okay. And so I kept on reading Japanese, and then I went away, and then I came back. Like the person was still there, and I saw him reading. He was reading a Haruki Murakami book. And so like, because I felt he wanted to talk, I was like, hello? Like, no, in Japanese, I think it said like, konnichiwa. He was like, 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 hajimemashite. And I was like, oh, nice to meet you too. And he was like, oh, like, you're learning Japanese. And I mean, it was all in Japanese what we were saying, but he was like, oh, you're learning Japanese. I'm like, yeah. And it's like, oh, I see you're reading like Murakami. And he's like, oh yeah, like, you know? It's like, yeah, I know. And it was so interesting because from that day onward, like, he always called me to hang out with him. He showed me around Kyoto. He told me about his life. Even though I could have like stayed around my school and tried to make friends with everyone at Gaidai, like, it's more interesting when you like go outside and you like meet someone, like just a normal person, and just talk, because I don't know, you learn more about the language. Like, another thing I used to do is I used to go to a cafe, and I know I talk a lot, but I used to go to a cafe called Holly's Cafe. There, like, sometimes people would go there to study. And one time there was like a group from college students, and they went there and they were studying. And we started talking too. Next thing you know, like one day I go to Uji with them. We talk about life in Japanese, and they tell me like, oh, there's this, and oh, there's that. And it's so cool meeting people just randomly and talking in a new language. And I mean, I would go to karaoke sometimes with them. I learned Japanese by just going outside into the world and just like talking to people and going like, hi, my name's Andrew. What's your name? Yeah.
I think that's the best way to learn a language too.
Right.
Because I used a lot of like meetup groups, and then you talk to
Yes, I did that too.
people who I've never met, but we both interested in learning English and Japanese, so we both have common interest about learning language. And also I went to a couple of like anime meetup groups. So if we have like a common topic to talk about, even if you don't have enough confidence to speak another language, you can communicate with people. For example, I really like Japanese anime, and then there are tons of anime meetup groups in New York. And I went to those meetup groups, and then they are, of course, American people. So, they don't know a lot of Japanese, so I spoke English.
Right.
Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball, right? Goku.
Yeah.
That's how you communicate with people. Goku, yeah, I like Goku. Yes. Kamehameha. Okay, right?
Yeah, they're like ramen. Yeah. Sushi. Yeah.
You're right. You like ramen. Yeah. And then that's how you start learning English.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, how about chicken? Oh yeah, family chicken.
Yeah. So like once you find like a common topic you can talk about, then you can communicate with people.
I mean, I guess that's the other thing. I love languages. I mean, I grew up. My mom is from Mexico. My dad is from Brazil. So I heard Spanish, I heard French, I heard Portuguese growing up. So I was always like learning. And so like, I learned Chinese in college. I learned Korean in college. So I love knowledge. I mean, I love learning. So that's another thing you have to have with languages is like the courage to learn.
Mm-hmm.
like to learn on your own. Like
Yeah.
I downloaded an app that you can put on your Netflix that lets you learn Japanese on Netflix. It like you can save words, you can
Mm-hmm.
like pause the video and read the script. It's so cool.
And the other thing you can probably use is podcasts. But I usually listen to podcasts when I'm walking, when I'm taking trains. So I try to expose myself to whenever I can. So one thing I did was I went to like a cafe like near my apartment, and I was sitting there like for about like 2 or 3 hours, and then I was just listening to the conversation of the people sitting next to me. So that's how I kind of improved my English listening skill.
That's how I do it too. Like when I was at the cafe, I just listened to what people are saying. Because in Japan, like just as in America, so many people have different ways of speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Some Japanese people speak super fast, and some people in Japan speak not slow but kind of slow.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And so and then there's old Japanese people, and then there's really young Japanese people. And then like girls speak differently than guys do in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
When some girls speak Japanese, it's like so high pitched that sometimes it's hard to like understand. And then even some guys speak very fast and are very like just super fast. And then there's of course like keigo and passive voice. So,
Yeah.
And casual Japanese can be hard too.
That too, yeah. Whenever I meet some American friends or foreign friends who learn Japanese, and then they say like, はじめまして、僕は誰々です。よろしくお願いします. Yeah, that's really good, that's the start. But, if we talk as a friend, we don't talk like that. We talk very fast, and then we talk
very fast.
We use a lot of slangs. It's
a lot of slang
in English too. So whenever I talk with like my friend, American friend, they use a lot of slangs, and I was like, what is he talking about?
I think one time one of my Japanese friends sent me a video in English because she was trying to understand what they were saying, and I listened to it. I'm like, I don't know, because even street talk in English can be confusing sometimes. Did you ever know what low key meant? Like when something's low key?
No. Is that English?
Yeah, that's English. Like keeping it quiet, like honestly, like like when someone's like, I low key love like sushi. It's hard to explain.
Even in Japanese, it's sometimes so hard to explain,
Right.
Like some of my friends ask me like, what's the difference between dayo and daijoubu? Dane, it depends on situation. That's all I can say. I don't know how to explain it.
I know, it's so hard. Like daijoubu dayo is like, I'm okay. And then daijoubu dane is like, are you okay? Like daijoubu dane, like you're okay, right?
Yeah.
But then even sometimes
it all depends on situation. So it's so hard to explain. So the thinking, come to think of it, learning a language can never be easy for anyone.
Right.
So
or like the difference between kana and daro.
Yeah, kana, daro. Yeah, it's like I sometimes say that's like a female talking or like guys talking.
Oh right, like
Daro or
kuru kana, kuru daro.
Yeah, those type of things.
Yeah, daro does have a more like
guy,
and then kana is like kana.
Yeah, kind of, but
it's still male and female.
Yeah, right. And so then guys never say dane. Yeah, they do.
Guys say it. Yeah.
So
no, people say dane all the time. Yeah.
Sometimes I ask some, English words, and then American people don't know how to explain it either. So
right.
Yeah, and there, I always use Netflix or a lot of different types of videos to learn more casual English. I usually don't learn from school.
What dramas do you watch?
Well, so now I watch a lot of like a superhero movies, like Captain America. I've never watched Marvel heroes because I'm not very big action movie fan, but now it's lockdown, I have tons of time, so I started watching those, movies. But there are so many like technology words and they're like slangs. Then some people speak super fast and they're like, oh my God, I have no idea what they're talking about. So
Yeah, I mean, now that I have time, I used to never watch anything. And like so far this whole break, I've watched 3 whole series. I watched one called like Good Morning Call. And then I watched Terrace House, yeah.
Terrace House.
And I used to never watch TV, so it was just kind of like, and I couldn't believe it. I was just like kept on watching.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to learn Japanese more, and I found that app, so I would like pause, write down word, watch, yeah.
Yeah. But I think like, if you learn a new language, for me, like English through movies, like you realize language is not just language itself. You have to understand language through culture. I watch some like spy movies, but I have no idea, I do not know anything about like a spy culture. I've never watched any spy movies before. So like there's so many like technical terms or, those, very specific terms, and I don't understand what they're talking about. So, learning language, it's not just, skills, but you have to learn through culture.
And that's why I don't think if I never went to Japan, I don't think I would know as much Japanese as I do now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so true. So, I came to New York, and then, I kind of exposed myself to American culture, New York culture. So now I can connect culture and language better than before.
Right.
Still, the songs are super hard to understand because I listen to a couple of like rock music in
Oh,
English.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I like
wow.
rock music.
That's
I really
cool.
like old rock music, like
Oh, that's
or
awesome.
yeah, Queen.
Japan has a lot of good old rock bands.
Yeah, they do. Well, most of them are kind of influenced by
Right.
foreign rock.
And they use a lot of loan words and English words in their songs.
Yeah, yeah. But like a rhythm or melody or whatever, that's in songs, make it a lot more difficult to understand because,
Right.
it's not like conversational rhythm, right? It's like a very specific melody, very specific rhythm. So sometimes I
Right.
have no idea what they're saying. But do you like learning Japanese through songs?
Oh yeah, I like learning Japanese through watching karaoke videos on YouTube. On YouTube, you can look up Japanese songs, and if you just type karaoke next to it,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be able to watch a video of the lyrics without the words. So you can just listen to the melody while you read the lyrics. They have furigana on the lyrics, so you can like look it up. And yeah, I learned Japanese a lot by watching those videos on YouTube.
I've listened to so many like rock music in English, but there's so many songs I have no idea what they're saying. So I remember the melody, but I have no idea what the lyrics.
Right, like la 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 la.
No. Yeah. That's all I can do.
I mean, that's why I went to karaoke all the time in Japan because I loved learning Japanese through singing.
Yeah, that I think that helps. Yeah.
So I used to go all the time to karaoke, like every week or sometimes every day of the week. I loved singing new songs in Japanese. I loved looking up the lyrics for songs.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, there are a lot of karaoke places in New York too. So I probably need to go there to learn the lyrics of the songs I've listened to for many years, but I still don't know what the lyric is. So yeah,
I mean, going to karaoke with friends is a great way to learn language.
Okay, so this is it for today's episode. So in the next episode, we're going to talk about karaoke culture.
Woo-hoo!
So, of course, there are a bunch of karaoke places in Japan, and also we have a lot of, karaoke bars, karaoke, restaurants in New York too. So we're going to talk about, both aspects of the karaoke.
Woo-hoo!
All right, so we'll see you in the next episode. All right, bye.
Bye.